Hello everyone! Do you like gold, shiny, sparkly things? I do, and this paper collection is so pretty. This week I am kicking things off with the creative design team. All week long we are going to be focusing on scrapbooking outdoor photos. So 7 ways, because there's 7 of us, to scrapbook outdoor photos. I am going to be using the Wild Ferns stamp set along with this paper pack. This is called Nature Sweetness, and you can see there's a lot of just really earthy tones to it, but it is stunning. I mean, just so pretty. Look at this one here. It's got gold splatter already inlaid over the text paper, and they're all double-sided. So I am just really excited to dive into this paper. Now I have kind of cut into this already. I was making a few cards using the inspirational sketches. I have a thing for mushrooms. I just think they're really cool, and this is a very beautiful stamp. So I was playing around and I made this one here. Very just simple. I wanted to kind of keep it monochromatic, but can you see the gold foiling when it catches the light on this background paper here? And I've stamped the mushrooms, added a little bit of sequins, and then just layered the bird over the top there. And then here's another one. Here I put the mushrooms on a tag, and then here I put on a circle, and here I put them on a tag. I didn't quite like how this bird was colored. It's okay. It's just a little too dark, and I lost some of the details. So I'm still playing around with different coloring options. But yeah, and then this one has that gold foil on the edge. Isn't it just so pretty? I love it. I'm super excited. So let's get into today's layout. Let me clear this out of the way and grab my Versamats. This is going to be a double page layout, and we are all focusing on similar photos. So it's going to be really fun because you're going to see a whole bunch of different takes on the same set of photos. So these are my fellow creative design team friends, and we were on a trip to Vancouver and we were visiting Brandywine Falls. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty there. So I've just got some little snapshots. Here we are. We thought this would be fun. We're all peeking out behind the trees, and then we were taking a lot of pictures on the train track here. So this was just kind of funny. You can see people in the background and we're all over. I'm like jumping in behind Katie, who's trying to capture the scene. So I thought that was a funny photo. And then this is at the start of our little hike. So I've got a group photo coming too, and that is printing right now. But let me set these over here and grab my base paper. So I am using white as my base layer just because I want to save pattern paper, but you won't actually see the white cardstock. So I know right where I'm going with this layout. So let me grab my papers that I want to use here. I for sure want to use the text paper with the gold foiling. And then I think that I want to use, gosh, they're all so pretty. Really, really gorgeous. What did I do with it? This one's cool too. I love this paper. So I want something to kind of go across the center there, which I'm probably going to use cardstock, but this is the one I want right here. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have several layers, and I want to bring in a little bit of toffee. I don't have all the Stampin' Up colors yet. So the toffee looks really nice with this collection when you bring in like this paper here. They're not exactly the same, but they're kind of close enough to where I think they're going to go nicely together. So this one here of all of us on the train track, this is my favorite photo. This is my focal photo. So I'm going to put this one here, and then we're going to have the falls maybe here and then here. So these are 3x4s. This one could be a 4x6, but mine's 4x5.5. And then I have a couple 3x3s, and then we're going to have a 4x6 here. So we're going to go kind of like that. I need to cut these down. I just want to use one piece of paper, so I'm going to trim these, and I will be right back. Let me just run and do that really quick. Okay, we have our gold foil paper that is going to go all the way across here. I should call it gold splatter. It does have a text direction, so make sure your text is not upside down. Have you ever done that? I totally have. And it's usually when it's all adhered down with glue, permanent adhesive, that I notice it. So that's going to be our first layer, and then we're going to have this one here in the center, and then I'm going to bring in a strip of this one, which is the opposite side of that. I am following along with a sketch featured in the Creative Design Team's 12 by 12 Volume 2 sketchbook. If you've been hanging around our channels this month, then you know we just released a brand new sketchbook. We're super excited about it. There is a collaboration that took place in May where we each picked a different sketch and brought that to life. So it's always fun to see those sketches with the photos and pattern paper and just the different tweaks we make to make it work for the photos that we are documenting. All of our sketchbooks are digital downloads, and I will have the links and information listed in the description box below. So this is an awesome time-saving tool. I'm getting ready for vacation, and I wanted to get this layout done, and it took no time at all because the sketch did all the work for me. So we're going to bring our photos back in, and then I also want to add a strip of this gold foil paper. Now there is like a little leaf pattern on there, but it's predominantly gold, so it definitely brings in a lot of sparkle and shine. So we need one more over here. We'll get that into place. For the right hand side, I'm going to bring in this pattern paper here, and I do have that trimmed down. I'm going to dovetail it, but I'm not sure where yet, so we're going to leave it be for now. And I think our photos are going to sit up there, and then I want to create a lot of embellishments. So I already die cut these little fern-like sprigs, and they're really cool because they have like a corner frame, so you can tuck them behind a photo or a sentiment on a card, or you could trim those off and tuck them in where you see fit. So we've got more individual little sprigs here, and then there's some like little sentiment spots and outline dies that coordinate with the stamps. So what I'm going to do is take my intense black ink, and I'll show you a couple on camera, and then I will create a lot more so I can just have this green lush foliage all over the layout, because that is what it was like up in Vancouver. All the hikes we did were just so beautiful, ferns and just moss everywhere, truly gorgeous. So these are the 3 different images I'm going to be using from that stamp set, along with the little die cuts. And I have my dull green Spectrum Noir tri-blend marker. I'm just kind of seeing which one. There's 3 colors in one. Now, Stampin' Up! Does have markers. I have not invested in any of those yet, but I am excited to try them. So I will be adding some of my go-to colors here soon. My go-to colors are generally like greens and browns. I use those a lot, so those will probably be the first ones I get. I am just going to color these in. I'm not doing a lot of shading because it's such a small image, so I just pick the middle color, and then I will do some in dark and then some in the lightest one. So it's kind of nice to have 3 in 1. You could also stamp these onto green cardstock with black ink. If you are not a fan of coloring, just stamp them right onto a piece of cardstock, and then you'll have that nice little foliage. So I've got all my bits and pieces. Let me bring this back into the frame for you. What I'm thinking is I want to frame in this main focal photo here, and it's really nice that there is that wide strip that these ferns are attached to. It makes it very easy to adhere these very intricate, delicate pieces. So I want to cluster kind of going out to the left here. I don't mind it overlapping the waterfall photo. I went ahead and printed this photo of Jema and I sitting in front of the Brandywine Falls sign. I am going to have a group photo of all 7 of us, but I have not, I don't have it yet. So we're still, so many of us were taking photos on each other, our own personal cameras. So I'm still collecting all of the ones I want, but I'm going to use a flip flap. So that group photo will go right on top. So let's actually bring in some cardstock behind this one. That is espresso cardstock. And then I'm going to mat this in this white paper with the gold foiling on the background. I really want this focal photo to be the center of attention, kind of the star of the layout. So it's getting 3 mats to really highlight it. So then we can kind of tuck these in. It also helps those little green sprigs to stand out a little bit more against that white border around the edge. On this particular day, we were actually driving up to Whistler to check that out. So many of us wanted to kind of see what it was all about. And on the way, there's the Brandywine Falls. So we had to stop and just take a quick hike to see the falls. And we're so glad we did because it was beautiful, really, really pretty. And then we got this cool train track photo too, right? You can see I'm starting a cluster up top of this left page, and then we're going to have a big cluster down here on the bottom. So I'm using the same elements in each, and I really like the, we have the green die cuts, and then we have the stamped images, which have that white border that really makes those pop off the background. To connect all of my little embellishments, I'm going to use a circle. Uh-oh, here's Brian. This is Dave's sidekick. This is Brian. He's a little bit naughty, and he's stealing my die. Give me that back. Bad kitty. Brian is quite the character. He's not one for napping on my layout, which I appreciate, but he will steal things from your desk, so you do have to keep an eye on him. I decided on this circle. I felt this size was a good proportion, and I have this little sprig here. It's actually from this Flowers of Beauty set, and I was making some cards, so I had some extra sprigs. It's this die right here, and it was in the same color as my ferns, so I thought, why not? Let's tuck that in there. If you recall the card I shared with you in the beginning of the video, I stamped these mushrooms and then cut them out with one of the circles. So I'm going to repeat that and use it on the left-hand side of the page. So let me scoot this into frame, and I'm thinking to balance the circle on the, let's actually try this here. No, that's too big. This one's better suited for that spot. So I think this will look nice here, but I really didn't want it to cover up all my little corner framing. I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm gonna have to play around with this for a bit. Like I said, I do like the balance of the two circles, but I'm not sure. So whenever I'm not sure, I move on to something else. I did stamp a bird on this circle here, and we're gonna have the little bird looking into the layout. Now this is my muted brown marker from Spectrum Noir, and I am going to just add some subtle color to this little bird. There's already like shading and detail that the artist has worked in. So I'm coloring the lightest areas that are open with the lightest color, and then I'll kind of fill in with the darker colors. And again, I don't want to lose too much detail in this beautiful stamped image. So I'm just adding hints of color. I want it to be very soft. I was so glad that we decided on Vancouver for our creative design team girls getaway, because it was so amazing there. I could and will definitely go back. I'd like to take my mom. She would really enjoy seeing all of these beautiful places to hike. And I know my son wants to ride mountain bikes at Whistler. So that's on the bucket list for one day. And it's just incredible up there. Very lush and dense, as I said earlier, surrounded by snow-capped mountains. If you like nature, it is a beautiful place to visit. I think I'm set on this embellishment cluster here, so I'm going to go ahead and put the dovetails in. So I'm lining it up with the corner of my mat, finding center and cutting up. I don't want these to be, very big, so I'm cutting them shallow. Sorry, I'm off screen there. And this paper conveniently has grid lines on it, so it is making that process super easy. Again, repeating it on the bottom, cutting up from center, probably just about 1/2 inch. I didn't measure, just eyeballing it. And I think this just adds a lot of fun character to this design. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the rest of the creative design team does for this collaboration. The photos might vary a little bit, but of course, everybody has their own style. So it's going to be really fun to see the different takes on similar photos. So that's going to be fun. Be sure to tune back in. Now, this is the Candid Moment stamp from my stash. I chose this for a title, Happy Times. I didn't want to put Brandywine Falls because that's in the sign in the right-hand side. So I didn't need to repeat that. Let's try this little mushroom. What I'm going to do is snip this in half so that it's not wasted behind there. We'll bump that up, layer our circle over, and then we can tuck our little sprigs behind the circle, and then we'll fit our little title in right underneath here, Happy Times. I stamped those in espresso brown, and then the times I actually colored with the same dull green marker. We have this little awkward spot, so I'm filling it in with a few more ferns, and then I wanted one more circle for up top. Gotta do things in threes, right? So I think this will just really balance everything out quite nicely. So I'm thinking of maybe putting it underneath the photo, and you know what? I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love it. I really feel like I need something over the photo, so I'm gonna switch that out. To finish this off, I found this tiny little camera sticker. I was flipping through my embellishment album, and that came from this kids' school pack sticker from way back in the day. So that was fun. I am using my embellishments so much more since I switched to the binder system. Now these are super fun. This is a neutrals set of sequin embellishments. They're sequins that have the adhesive on the back, and you have these beautiful golds and copper colors. So I am selecting, I'm just going to use the darker ones. It'd be fun to kind of mix and match too, but I'm going to just go with the same ones for now and put a cluster of 3 in each of my embellishment clusters. I really love the texture that these bring to a project, and it's just a fun little shiny detail. I'll hold this up so you can get a closer look at all of that sparkly goodness. And how pretty are those mushrooms? I really love how detailed that stamped image is. And then of course the little cluster up top here, and then we have our cluster down here with the little bird. And yeah, I like it. This is a really fun sketch to create. As I mentioned, I'm the first to kick this off, so tune in each day for more inspiring ideas from the rest of the creative design team. And you can find the playlist right here on the right. Everything I used is in the description box below. I'm so grateful you decided to stop by and spend a little time with me today. Happy crafting, everyone!